Radio. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jake Kerr. Today, I'm joined by Noppy, who is just fucking a brand new character in my life. I started following Noppy not long ago. He got a little bit involved with the Volume 2 Winter Spring Collection release, and now we're fucking doing a podcast together.
Yeah, and that shit was dope. That was a crazy launch. It was good.
It was interesting vibes. I've never done anything quite like that, but it was one of those situations where it's like, right, if I'm going to have an event, what does it look like? What does it feel like? And I just tried to make that ultimate vision.
Yeah. No, it was like literally when I went in and I saw it and I just like went into the whole studio and everything, just the view was amazing.
Yeah,
was like,
dude. The location, the spot that we got to use was literally coincidentally the best place ever.
Yeah.
You know, because we were trying to make it work in other bars, and then I was like, okay, if we don't go in a bar but near a bar, what can we do? And someone mentioned that spot, which I don't know about you, I would never think
I wouldn't either.
to go there.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, it's kind of the best view in Bunbury.
Yeah. No, it's really, really awesome. Just going in, buy what you got to buy, and you walk out and it's just like, holy shit, we're in like paradise. The sunset was going down nice. It was hell flat.
It was
just a vibe. It was just a vibe.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah, I think we hit the nail on the head, because it wasn't just like you going there to get clothes. Like the fact that we had like the plants and the DJ
And the food,
the
band.
band. You can press your own tea. You go over here, get some drinks. We got the after party afterwards. Like there was just so much going on that it was fucking. I'm excited to do it again.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I've ever hit the nail on the head with an event like that before. But
it was good.
Enough about my shit. You're like this fucking. You confuse me.
Yeah, I confuse a lot of people.
You confuse me. So tell me, let's start with how the fuck do you drive Ferraris?
So short story. So like, I'm just very open guy. So I'll go out and I'll just cruise around. So one day I was just like in my clubby, and then I just pulled up to the servo and I just heard like this Ferrari pull up. I was like, oh god. So I just randomly just went up to him and said, hey, yo, like, what do you do for your living? Like, how do you become so successful? And I get into that like personal stuff and I ask him and I hound him. I say, yo, like, what do you do to be where you're at? And then the motivation key is he said, stay consistent, love what you're doing, and that's it. And then he drove off. I was like, all right, cool. And then
What did he do? What was his job?
So he actually was into like Bitcoin and everything, and then he ran his own business as a laboratory or something. So he made like cures for cancer and all of that, and then he just sold it all, and then went into his own little like thing that he was doing.
Yeah.
And then probably like 3 weeks later, I had a message, and then he hit me up, and then I was like, oh yo, it's the same dude.
Yeah.
So then he asked me, hey yo, can you come out and maybe want to come for a test drive? And I was like, all right. And then that's how we just ended up being so close, and then we just been like that forever, right? Yeah, and it's only been like 3 years I've known him, eh?
So you like adopted a mentor out of that
Pretty
situation?
pretty much, yeah. And it was amazing because like he's like really taught me some crazy stuff, and really taught me about like how precious life is and everything. It was just really good.
I think like a lot of that resonates with me. I feel like mentors is key.
100%.
Like fuck, however smart you think you are, find someone smarter. Find people that are smarter and hang around with them.
100%. 100%. That's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
And it was just great because you surround yourself with the correct right of people, you end up being just like that fifth person, just like them.
Yeah, that's right. And I feel like this is the thing. You hang out with your friends from school, and like nothing against my friends from school. I hang out with one of them, you know, and he's on the same shit that I'm on. So it's not really a valid argument. But you hang out with your normal friends, and you're talking about like normal stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about that stuff. You think about that stuff. You go to sleep. You dream about that stuff. Yeah. And then tomorrow you talk to them about what? That stuff.
That stuff.
Right?
It's crazy.
So you change them out, and you put in someone who's talking about, oh, we're making money.
Yeah.
We're progressing. We're healthy. We're trying to make real, headway with our life. And then what do you start thinking about? What do you start dreaming about? And all of a sudden, that's your reality.
Yeah.
You know?
Manifesting, man, it's the biggest key.
Yeah.
It's just good.
100%. I think and this is the thing, like you talked about like the experience of life, like what life actually is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you're keeping up with this, but like there's aliens, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So we may as well treat this like it's a video game, because if there's aliens, we're the ants in the anthill and they're the humans.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
Yeah, 100%.
So if I'm the ant in the anthill, I'm not being a mediocre ant.
Yeah.
I want to be king shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to own the whole hill.
Yeah.
Like, why not? If it's just a game, why wouldn't you want the whole pie?
Yeah.
That's how I see it anyway. But so I asked you just before we started recording, how do you make your money? What do you do?
So a lot of people probably think, oh yeah, like I'm just like working FIFO and all of that, but really I'm just running my own business as a support worker. So I'm a sole trader.
Yeah.
And then I just put everything into being like a disability worker and everything. And then I just go out, I look for work, and then, I don't really know how it all works out, but like the NDIS fundings come through and then I'll work for them type of way.
Yeah.
But then I just do the support. But then if I get flat out, I'll have to hire some people to take on my shift because it's just too much going on.
Yeah.
But
So at the moment, you'd say you're probably in the growth phase of your business?
Yeah. I'm still learning quite a bit, and like I'm hoping to like extend it and go up. And that's all you can do is just go up from where you are.
Yeah, I feel like what happens when people get into business, and like I don't know, I just know a lot of small business owners in Bunbury.
Yeah.
They get into business and they get to that point where they're making like 100K a year, and they stop there, you know. And it's like, I feel like they stop because this part that we're in, the growth phase, it sucks.
Yeah.
You got no money. You're like, you're looking for the next lead acquisition. You're trying to figure out like, is this part of my business profitable, or is this part, or is this part? Is this mentor good? Is this customer good? How do I communicate all these things? And you get to a point where you're like, well, if I'm making my role, if I've got what I need to live, then pushing any harder is really hard, you know? But then I feel like if you go, right, I'm going to double, say if it takes you 5 years to get out of your growth phase, if you go, I'm just going to grow for 10 years instead of 5.
Yeah.
Well, you go from 100,000 to like 1 million.
Yeah.
Or 5 million, you know? And it's like, damn, well, if there's no ceiling, then why do we stop here? You know?
It's just that motivation that you got to get. Like, if you don't have that motivation to drive and be successful, you're not gonna like really be any help to your own self and your own business. Like, I know this guy who's making like 300K plus, doing the exact same as what I'm doing, but he's really out of his region. Like, he's gone and like invested in this and that.
Yeah.
And it's the exact same job as what I'm doing. I'm like, I need a mentor like that to show me how you get there. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, that's cool because you've got someone that you're like, he's literally doing the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I feel like my people that are doing the thing are like Dan Bradshaw at Straight X, and it's like, all I know about that guy is he's really busy and I can't get a hold of him. Or he doesn't want to talk to me, either way. So it's like, fuck, you know, I think about, because I look at Black Ink and I go, what is it?
Yeah.
It's a clothing brand, it's content creation, it's literally however I can make money, right?
Yeah.
But there's no one, especially in Bunbury, there's no one else doing this.
Yeah.
No one. So like my mentors have to be these adjacent kind of industries where you go like, oh, this guy's made heaps of money. This guy's made a big network. This guy's good at producing systems and then adapting or trying to adopt their styles and thought process and stuff into what you do. But having someone where you're like, okay, I'm making X amount. He's making 10X and he's doing the exact same thing. Teach me.
That's just crazy.
Teach me, you know?
Yeah. Now that's what I always wanted to ask you. So what motivated you to be where you are now, and what pushed you to really do what you're doing right now? Because you're killing it, bro. You're killing it.
Interesting question. Thank you. Interesting question. So it's going to start with bitches being bitches, right?
Yeah.
So being a fucking 6'4" young buck.
Yep.
In my early 20s, I found myself in a few situations where where women were being very open to the fact that had I got them, I know you're probably thinking, how the fuck does this relate? Trust me. So they were very forward in saying, had I got them pregnant in the situation we're in, they would have kept the baby because they know that I would have provided, right? So I got a vasectomy, like when I was 23, and I'm 30 now.
Yeah.
So I got a vasectomy, so obviously like, you can try as hard as you want, I'm not having a kid.
Yeah.
So I was very actively like, I'm not having kids, fuck everything, you know what I mean, not interested. And then I met Riz, and we had no intention of having kids or doing any of the thing, and like fast forward a few years, and I was like, well, let's pretend I was to have a kid. That's a chick I'd do it with, right?
Yeah.
But if I had a kid, this is the thing. This is like when I was younger, I was like, I don't want to have a kid because the system is you're normal, you go to school, you get a job, you know, you meet someone, you get married. But the reality of what your life is, Monday to Saturday afternoon, you're at work.
Yeah.
You're at work. That's it. And if you're not, you're in Port Hedland for 2 weeks. And then you come home for a week and you don't know what it's like to be home or at work. You're never in a full, you're never really there, you know, and you're missing out on so much. So it's like, okay, if that's what life is, if it's 60% of it is being at work and the other 35% of it is being in bed and I get 5% to raise my kid, I'm not raising my kid, the world is.
Yeah.
What am I doing? So why would I have a kid if I'm not going to actually be a father? So then I go, okay, cool. Well, Riz is the chick. She's the mum.
Yeah.
She's the mum. I'm the dad. She's the mum. I see it now. But the situation that I was in when I thought this, I drove trucks 12 hours a day. You know, 4 days, 4 nights, 4 off. You're never awake. You're never asleep. Making money.
Yeah.
You know, it's all good. You go on holidays. You can buy cars and shit. But, like, you're not even awake.
Yeah.
You know? So I was like, okay, cool. if I want to have a kid, I got to have money and time, right? This is the answer to that question. Because right now, I mean, I don't have enough time to have a kid right now.
Yeah.
But if I did have a kid, he or she would be just over there.
Yeah.
And I could hear them. You know, the same reason that, you know, I got Louie the dog when we were in a caravan a little over 3 years ago now. And it was like I got her with the intention of her never being away from me.
Yeah.
And if she's never away from me, then we win.
Yeah.
And I've had times where BLXCK INK has grown into positions where other businesses and companies have tried to subcontract me as a whole or the whole business into theirs.
Yeah.
And I go, well, no, because now I'm not at home.
Yeah.
I'm not doing the thing. And like when this moves into a shop front, Louis will be coming with me. That's where the kid will be coming. Larissa will be working for me.
Yeah.
Dude, and this is the thing. To get something that drives you to your core, it has to be that fucking meaningful.
Yeah.
And nothing is more meaningful than creating the community that I want my kid to grow up in.
100%.
So it's like, dude, this shit that I do for like, you know, the social skate, it's easy. When my kid comes to this world, I'm going to be the leader of a social skate that has thousands of members.
Yeah.
I did that for them.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to have a business that makes millions of dollars a year because I planned it for 5 years before they were even thought of. You know what I mean? So it's like everything that I do now is just putting the pavers in the wall, building that fucking house that kid gets to live in.
100%. That's a vibe.
Yeah,
I like
dude.
that. I fuck with that. That's good.
And man, this is the thing, like that is timeless. You know, like it doesn't matter if you're in your worst moment and you're like, and this happens when you're in business, you're like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm in debt, no one likes me, my products are shit, I can't do anything, I'm not moving forward, why am I doing this? Because one day, that kid's gonna look at you and be like, because you're a bad man.
Yeah.
You figured it out,
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
So that's exactly why,
Yeah.
you know?
That's good.
But yeah, thanks for asking me. I don't get a proper chance to express those feelings
Yeah,
sometimes.
I got you, bro. That's,
Yeah,
that's
fucking
good,
oath.
man.
So your Noppy's not an Australian name.
No, it's not.
Tell me about this name. I find it so interesting.
So, as you can see, Noppadon was very hard for everyone to pronounce.
Yeah.
So mum and dad just said, "Hey, we'll just name you Noppy,"
Yeah.
and that just became my name for everywhere. Noppy,
Yeah.
Noppy, Noppy, and yeah, it was just like it's a crazy name because it was like it's a name that I was born in because I got raised in a village,
Right.
and then in Thailand. So I'm from Thailand, and then I got raised in a village, and then my family that was there kind of just sold me off for weapons, right?
Really?
Yeah. So it was a hectic lifestyle. But I was only 2, so I don't remember too much. And then I got moved into an orphanage, which was just terrible. And then, so ever since then, I was there for about 3 years. So that when I flew out to Australia, I was only 5.5 years old.
Right.
And I was just, adopted. So I was just like, whoa, I'm wigging out. Why is there like white people taking me on this big spaceship?
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
so confused.
Wow.
So
the orphanage was in Thailand?
Yeah, the orphanage was in Thailand, yeah.
Right. And you remember the flight here?
Sort of, yeah. It was very crazy. It was just like...
Dude, it's a total change of everything for you.
100%.
So what was the level of, like, what did life look like at, like, in Thailand? Are we, like, when you say village, I'm picturing, like, huts.
Huts and everything. And we had headhunters over there. It was just like crazy.
Yeah.
And then, I ended up being into an orphanage, which was good and bad because in the orphanage, they're, like, hell rough and tough on you.
Yeah.
So, like, you can't cry. You got to be tough because that's what Thai people are like.
Yeah.
And then, and then we just flew me over here and then kind of just grew up here, which was just totally different to what I had back there.
Dude, it's blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Like, it's blowing my mind. Like, the conversation with the dude driving a Ferrari
Yeah.
is like, somehow it makes more sense that an orphan has that confidence.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I wouldn't walk up to the guy with a fucking Ferrari.
Yeah, 100%.
That's crazy.
That's where I feel like most of my confidence come from because I grew up and I just had a shit. Like, there's a lot of people who have like shit like growing up, but I just felt like it was shit for myself. And then in that situation, like even going to schools and I found it so hard going to schools.
Yeah.
Like I went to a lot of different schools where I was just like bullied, picked on just because I couldn't like pronounce words correctly, and I just had like it was just terrible.
Okay, your parents, do you have
Yeah.
any contact or communication?
Nah, so we hired a private investigator.
Yeah.
And we tried for 2 years and we just could not get anyone because my mum, she gave a fake alias name where you can just not track anyone. You can't track anyone.
So, are you in a position that you want to meet your parents?
Oh, really? I'm happy. I'm happy where I'm at. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really want to go back and try and find them because they didn't seek out for me. So,
Interesting.
like, it's just crazy. Like, I'm loving life where it is. Like, it's
Yeah.
just like there's so many like opportunities I've got now. It's
Wow.
just great.
Dude, that's fucking cool. So, is there, I mean, how much of the situation when you were put up for adoption, when you were put into an orphanage,
Yeah.
sorry, how much of that situation do you know of? Like, what?
I remember quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember quite a bit. It was just like abusing and all of that, because being an orphan, like, they'll whack you with a stick and you
Yeah.
get fed like fruit. That's it. Like, probably like a little cup of rice.
Wow.
And then you just go to bed.
Australia must have seemed like a just complete abundance.
Yeah,
Must have seemed crazy.
it was. Yeah.
That's so have you been back to Thailand since?
Yeah, we went back in 2017. We went for an orphanage camp. So there's a camp in Perth where all the orphan kids go to.
Yeah.
And we all just fly it together to
Oh,
go
wow.
back to your orphanage and that. But mine sadly like got destroyed because of a tsunami that hit in 2004.
Right.
It was just crazy. Yeah. Or
So do you have
2005.
friends now that you were in that orphanage with?
Yeah, I have one. Yeah, I have one that was in the exact same orphanage. It's called Red Pack, and that was my orphanage name. And then we still link up because like he's in Perth as well. So
Really?
yeah, it's crazy when you see like another adopted Thai kid saying in that same orphanage as well, and you're just like, wow,
Yeah.
this just blows my mind.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Because I would feel like, I mean, I have a similar story, but nowhere near as extreme.
Yeah.
But we moved here when I was 10, and before that, we moved fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere in the Northwest, we've lived, you
Yeah.
know? So that constant, like, moving. But I feel like the reality of what that is, I have no one that I can relate that with except my mum.
Yeah.
You know, because you like just have this tumultuous, constant pushing and pulling and becoming friends with people you don't want to, and just like, where's home?
Yeah.
Nothing smells like home anymore,
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah.
And I just can't imagine having that kindred spirit where you look at each other like, you get it,
Yeah,
you get
yeah.
it, we've been there, you
Yeah.
know?
And it's just like, it's such a like crazy experience as well when you find that person and you talk about it. We both have the exact same scar that's on our right hip.
Yeah.
Because in the orphanage, they would actually put a needle into your like butt and then into your bone to draw out the bone marrow,
Right.
which they sell for cancer, and then they just give it away or whatever they do with it.
Yeah.
And then it's crazy because you talk about it and you're like, oh, we all went through that same situation. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
We both got that exact same scar. It's
Dude, bone marrow extraction, that's definitely a black market thing.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
That's nuts.
it's crazy. Yeah.
That shit would have hurt so much.
Yeah, it probably did, but I just didn't know it because we were just going through pain the whole entire time.
Yeah,
So,
wow. Do you think that there's a certain, because there's definitely a resilience in how you talk, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I feel like you have an organic understanding of like, you know, we were talking a little bit before we got started about my fucking Vans. You
Yeah.
know? And I'm like, they lace up, they're all good, they're good to go. And I had to force myself to buy new Vans
Yeah.
because it's like, dude, you have $100, go
Yeah.
buy the fucking Vans, right? Do you think that part of that resilient kind of mindset that you have is from those first 5 years?
I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon that's where all my drive and everything comes from. It's
Yeah.
just like I look at myself and I say like, this is how I had it back then.
Yeah.
And I see like everybody else is on this top level podium. Like, this is crazy. I want to be like that. I
Yeah.
want to get on top of that.
Yeah.
So I use everything and I just drive. This is what like makes me drive like crazy. Like, this is why I'm running my own business and this is why I'm reaching out to other people and like yourself, you know, because like, I see you on that grind, I see you on that hustle, and I'm like, yeah, I can see like you're gonna
Doing
kill
something.
it. You're
Just
doing something, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's funny because like sees like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel that's really
100%.
true. And there's a lot of people, like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate anyone giving anything a shot. There's a lot of people doing stuff and you're like, yeah, it's not, you're not looking at it the right way, you know? But I think, there's definitely like, I see it. That's why I said, like, you confuse me because I can see you doing something, but much probably the same way people look at black ink, I don't know what that thing is.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like all it kind of looks like is this continual progression.
Yeah.
Progression, you know?
Yeah.
And like I like when, you know, I think you put up a GT2RS or something the other day and
Yeah.
you're like, one day, and I'm like, bitch, me too.
Yeah.
That's fucking sick.
Yeah.
So you moved, tell me more about when you came to Australia. Did you come to Perth or did you come to Bunbury?
I come to Bunbury.
Sick.
Yeah.
So you moved to Bunbury when you were 5.
Yeah.
Right. Tell me about your foster parents.
So yeah, they're awesome, eh? I love them, and I thank them for like doing what they did and like took me out of there. Because,
Of course,
like,
yeah.
Like, if I stayed there for a few more years or whatever, I probably wouldn't even be alive.
Yeah.
But mum and dad, they're killing it. I just love how they've just raised me up into this family, and
It's crazy to think like, and however this sounds, but like the risk that they're taking.
yeah,
You know, adopting a 5-year-old Thai boy from
Yeah.
that situation is absolutely unreal. But I mean, obviously, you seem like a good dude. It paid off for them, it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
So what's like, where does the business mindset come from? Are either of those business owners, or they just have jobs, or?
So my dad just ran his own business as a, he was like a bobcat driver with his old man.
Okay.
And they ran their own business.
Yep.
And mum was just like, she was also into disability work as well. And that's where I kind of just got like my dad's side.
It's like a fucking
crazy. Yeah.
It meets. You
Yeah.
have a business of your own
Yeah.
doing disability sport.
Yeah,
work.
exactly.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so that's where like my dad's like grind and hustle was like where I get that off him.
Yeah.
And my mum's like, I pick her mind because like she knows about business and how she grew hers.
Yeah.
And then I kind of just went into that situation. I was like, yeah, fuck, I want to do this.
Yeah, true. I think it's really like my old man was just an employee his whole life until I was like, I want to say like early teens, and he bought this business for like 80 grand and sold it for fucking
crazy
big numbers. Yeah. And like you don't realize when you're a kid looking at that happening, but like while you have this neuroplasticity as a teenager, you're like, okay, so there are a few ways of making money. I can go get 25 bucks an hour over here, or I can be the person who employs the guy who gets 25 bucks an hour over there, and you start to go like, oh, the person who employs the guy, he gets to drink coffee and hang out. I want to be him,
100%.
Yeah.
That's the exact same way that I look at everything as well.
Yeah.
It's just,
I think as well, oh fuck, there's going to be on this shit the whole time. I think the unfortunate reality of having those, especially like big financial goals, the way to do it is business.
Yeah.
Like you really, people talk about investing and all the rest. In reality, like if you're going to be a good investor, you need to be doing it for 20 years before you're making money. Understand what you're doing and...
Well, that's like my mentor says, is like, don't look at investing as a quick way to get money. It's a long time investment. You got to like wait 10, 15 years to see profit. And that's like, I put in investment per like 2 years ago, and I've just left it and it's just growing. And then the rest is all up to you. You've got to go out there and make your own moves. Don't rely on the system and just like, this is what I'm going to wait on for this to blow up. You've got to make that move.
I think there's a lot of this like, people believe there are ways to get rich quickly.
Yeah.
And it's like, even if you get rich quickly, you don't have the skills to manage that rich.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like, I'm a fucking animal if I've got to spare $1,000. You know what I mean? I'm out here buying Hot Wheels and bags and shit, you know what I mean? But if I had $10,000, if I had $100,000 in my bank account right now, I'd be dead before the weekend. You know what I mean? And like, that, it's funny to talk like that, but it's true. Like my business right now deals with $5,000 problems.
Yeah.
The clients that I deal with spend about that money. Now, one day I'll be dealing with a $10,000 client, and then a $50,000, then $100,000. But if you just like day one get that $100,000 deal, you don't know the language, you don't know the processes, you don't know the strategy, you don't know the problem solving. So it's like I feel that gradual, if you have that delayed gratification built in, where you go like, I'm investing $1,000 today, I'm gonna forget about it until I'm like twice my age.
Yeah.
And that $1,000 is 5 or 10 or 15 or whatever you want.
Yeah.
But it's like, I feel like people have this idea where like, I want to get out of the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make $10,000 in 6 months. It's like, you're going to make fucking nothing.
Yeah.
You're going to lose 10 grand and learn something, you know?
Yeah. That's where you just got to like, a lot of people don't, you got to trust the process. Like my business when I grew it, the first probably 3 months was just terrible. I had no income. I was just out there looking for work, constantly doing like looking and scouting. There was nothing around.
Yeah.
And then I just got lucky with one person, and then that person ended up telling another person who knew about like a whole organization about disability, and then they just jumped onto my board, and I just ended up being flooded.
It's crazy that sometimes that one link.
One special link can link you up. Crazy.
Yeah. I've like got a really big focus on trying to build community.
Yeah.
And I've realized like, well, did you see that I did a public speaking thing last week?
I think so, yeah.
At Rotary Club?
Yeah.
Bro, I never done public speaking before and fucking nailed it. It was crazy. I literally couldn't, I was like halfway through and I'm like walking through the audience and shit. I'm like, look at me, I'm like Tony Robbins. Yeah. Telling my bullshit story about making clothes.
Yeah.
You know? But the one cool thing about that I realized was they told me afterwards, they're like, just so you know, like, we have experience, and I'm not saying this about Rotary, I'm saying this about communities in general, but they have means of making things happen.
Yeah.
What a lot of people don't have is ideas.
Yeah.
They don't have drive and energy and passion, and it's like, oh, if we do this and this and we involve this person, we can make this happen. Like volume 2, like my shit, you know? And I think the thing about, like, especially when you focus on like that one link can change something.
Yeah.
I always think, where's the room that are full of links? Where's the room that takes my $1,000 idea into 100,000?
Yeah.
You know? And I believe, especially for people like you and I, especially because we're young.
Yeah.
And I mean, what, you're 20...
22.
You're so fucking young, dude. I'm 30. I'm old as fuck. Life's over. You know what I mean? Being so young, you get in these rooms now.
Yeah.
By the time you're my age, 30, which is still, like Gary says, like you've just started at 30.
Yeah.
You know? You've made the $100,000 link.
Yeah.
Multiple times. You know how this shit works, you know? I envy you in your position because you had the mindset and you're already doing it.
Yeah.
You know? It's fucking cool. It's cool.
But that's like the volume 2 thing. Like, you say you have to have a creative mindset. Like, that's where you kicked in, because that volume 2 just popped off. Like, having someone to do that in Bunbury as well, where you found a location, you scouted your location, it was a killer. It was a killer location, and it was just a vibe. And then for yourself to go and get a DJ and a food van,
yeah, and
that's creative as fuck. Like, you don't see any stores, like pop-up stores like that.
Yeah, I think there's like, obviously as a creator, like I'm not original. I just copy everyone else, you know.
Yeah.
But it is a case of, I believe in like idea sex,
Yeah.
right? And the best way to have idea sex is get people who have good ideas in the same room, because their ideas then, what do you call it? Whatever, they mix and they turn into, they propagate into better ideas, right? And like, if you focus on just volume 2, right? So the guy who has a coffee van and the food van is the same guy.
Yeah.
Right? We hold like a monthly boys club here.
Yeah.
Where his coffee van comes here, and anybody who's available on Thursday morning, I'll extend the invite to you as well.
Yeah.
We come and drink coffee. Most of the time the boys don't know each other. What happens? They start talking, deals get done, and all of a sudden a $5 coffee turns into like, oh, now I've got a new contact, I've got a new link, I've got a new job, you know?
Yeah.
The guy whose coffee van is the guy who had coffee down there, right? The DJ, he came up because I was talking to one of my, what do you call it? You know, circle of friends. He's like, oh, bro, you got to get Nosh to DJ. He'll be the perfect. So it's like, all of a sudden, it's those environments of like idea sex where you go, A, I'm trying to make the coolest thing in Bunbury happen.
Yeah.
Fuck my ideas. Let's get everybody's ideas involved. And then all of a sudden you're sitting there and they're just like, have a DJ, get other fucking businesses to be there as well. Do it next to a bar, you know?
Get
it's
a
like,
food van.
Bro,
Yeah.
do you know who suggested the fucking location? The coffee guy.
It's crazy.
Dude, that's exactly my point. You know
crazy.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like, that's a shit of like trying to make communities. It's like Thursday morning boys club is perfect. It's like, it's not even a boys club. If you're a girl, fucking, it is a boys only club. But you know what I mean? It's like giving people a reason to be somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's where, even if it's just like, what are you doing this weekend? Let's catch up. That's better than if nothing happened.
It's a perfect time, because then you can just pick at each other's brains.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
And dude, fucking with people who are drinking their first coffee for the day.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's the best.
Yeah.
That's when people are excited about their ideas, you know?
Yeah.
I wish this energy that I had was from my coffee, but this is number 4, so it's definitely not, you know?
But oh, sorry, my bad.
No, you go.
I was gonna say, I've seen some of your content, and you have a Harley and that.
Yeah.
How did you manage to just pop a wheelie?
Oh, dude, that's not me doing the wheelies. Okay.
Isn't it?
No. So it's weird. I've been on Harley since I was like 18. You know,
Yeah.
so that's my 5th Harley that I've got at the moment. But the dude who's doing all the Harley stunts is Seb. He's the only guy in the Southwest who's a professional paid stunt rider.
Yeah.
Right. He only got on a Harley 5 months ago.
Yeah.
For the first time. And he's doing like loops both ways. Like, this is a thing, like a Larry, which is a donut.
Yeah.
He does donuts on his Harley with no front brake. So he's just getting that fucking wheel speed and just sending it sideways and then going the other way with no front brake, which is insane, right? And his wheelies and shit, I think 4 weeks ago he got his first scrape, which is where you're so far back that the fucking guard is hitting
Just
the ground.
scraping it.
So that's 12 o'clock. That's when the front wheel is directly over the back wheel.
And those things are heavy too.
They're 300 kilos. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
It's something that I've seen so many times, and every time I see it, I'm still like, what the fuck is going on?
That's the thing. Like, I've never seen that, and then to find out some local Bunbury guy who knows a guy who can just do that. It's just like,
man. Dude, we recorded a podcast. So we did a podcast. Yeah. So we did a podcast last Thursday. I did a podcast, the one that I posted this morning. I did that podcast last Thursday, and then he came around afterwards. I had everything set up.
Yeah.
So I was like, you want to do a podcast? He's like, yeah, fucking no. So we're like doing shots of Fireball and fucking spinning yarns on the pod. And we finish up, and he's like walking around. He's like, we can't post it. And I was like, why is that? He goes, think about just one of the things we said, bro. Pretty much every conversation we had, we've gone off the deep end, just being like super fucking non-PG. Like any thought of sponsorship in the future is ruined for the podcast or him. But he's that sort of guy. he's a guy that doesn't have fear built in.
Yeah,
you
no
know?
filters, just bang straight out.
Yeah, and
what
like
he says.
the guy does wheelies on Harleys with shorts and a singlet on.
Yeah,
Like it's fucking insane. This guy.
300 kilo fucking.
Yeah,
machine.
yeah. But it's cool though because as part of that, he then pressures the hell out of me to get a Harley and go join him as well. I got the little Grom, which is like a little 125 4-speed, and that's got all the gear on it to stunt.
Yep.
And that's fun. That's super fun. But it is also a 125cc next to a Harley. It's like I might as well wear a dress. You know?
Yeah.
It's bloody silly. Do you ride at all?
Nah.
Nah.
I just ride. Oh, I ride a little bit dirt bike, and
Yeah.
I tried my first with it. And I just fell off the back.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah, I hated
Dude,
it.
even at the moment, I've got an injury from wheeling. It's fucking. You literally just have to keep doing it, keep doing it. You know?
Yeah.
But-
Nah, it's.
Dude, if you ever want to
crazy.
come out and give it a shot with us,
I'll come watch. I'll support you and I'll watch you, but
yeah, fucking oath. No, it's crazy because I feel like, you know, if I had a mate that had like a go-kart or like a plane or something, and they're like, come out on the weekend and like fly me plane, you'd be like, yeah, fucking oath.
Yeah.
We literally have, like, I bought that van so I could do deliveries and shit for Black Ink.
Yeah.
But I got the van big enough to put Harleys in the back of so we can go stunting. You know what I mean? So if you ever want to come join in that, and that invite doesn't go to everyone listening as well. Just because you hear this doesn't mean you can come out, because most likely you're not cool enough, right? I'm sorry that I got to put the disclaimer in there. Some people, dude, they think they're your friend, and it's like,
sweet, let's go.
you know me really well, and I don't know you,
Yeah.
you know? Actually, okay, let's talk about that. How many followers you got on Instagram?
Oh, let me check. I don't even know.
I know it's enough to make me question what the fuck I'm doing with my content. but
15.8.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's sick. So where'd that come from?
I don't really know, to be honest. So, like, probably when I was younger, I used to spam follow. I just spam follow, then unfollowed everybody. And then that's how I just kind of grew. But then, like, most of my page that grew is because, like, more of my content and the photos people will send it to other people, like, oh, this
Yeah.
is a great idea.
So good interaction.
Yeah. And then once I started, like, driving hella fancy cars and that's where it just kind of went up. And then when I started modeling for Cabinet Noir and all of that, it kind of went up a little bit more.
Dude,
Yeah.
you fucking remind me of Edward. That's
Yeah.
nuts. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you both have fucking wild
Yeah.
good skin. It's annoying. It's
Edward
annoying.
and Sil.
Yeah. Fuck. I went and met, he probably doesn't even remember this. I went and met him years ago.
Yeah.
Years ago when I first started Black Ink, and I was like, give me some direction. And he was giving me direction you would give someone who's been in it for 10 years. He's like, you know, you're going to start doing this and doing that. And I still haven't done any of that, you know? But obviously, someone in that position, it's like, he owes me nothing. Thank you, you know? But yeah, that's funny because I feel like when Instagram first came out, if you posted once a day, every day, you've got 1 million followers now.
Yeah.
Regardless of what it was, what the niche was, not following any rules, you know? And none of us knew that at the time. But that spam follow shit worked.
Yeah.
It kind of still works now.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I find
But they kind of capped it there, where you can only follow, I think it's like 100 people a day, and then they block you.
Yeah.
You can't do anything else.
You just got to sit on 99.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I did that with a sister account I was blowing up earlier this year, and we got like 700 to 1800 in like a week.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is really effective.
Yeah.
There's 3 photos on this profile. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. And the fucking high-powered cars.
Yeah.
People love it, eh?
People love it.
Yeah.
They froth it.
Do
Yeah.
you shoot everything with your phone?
Yeah. Everything's just all content's on my phone.
That's a 14 Pro?
Yep.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Same. That's a go. Man.
You don't need all these fancy big old camera equipment and that just to make some content, you know.
Dude,
like,
Black Ink's built on a laptop and a phone.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So do you think there's a future for your online presence?
I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I reckon there's going to be something there.
Yeah.
So-
What would that ideally be in a perfect world?
A lot of cars. Yeah. I want to do like cars and modeling and just fashion. That's like my main goal on my gram. Yeah.
Interesting. We should be able to, like, I don't know if you're interested, I'd love to fucking, because I have access to the wildest cars as well. I've got obviously like the clothing and that. So there would be something cool we could do in the middle there. I mean more than just make content, you know?
Yeah.
Be fucking interesting.
But that's like myself, like, I think maybe next week we're taking the 458 out and we're going to do like doughies and all of that.
Really?
Yeah, because we've got to go up to Perth to get new tyres.
Oh, so you may as well.
Yeah, so we're going to get the drone up and make some content.
Is Homeboy local?
Yeah, he's local.
Really?
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not sure if you're like, I don't know how much of my content you've seen. Did you see the van post I put up the other day, the video?
Yeah.
You see that shot?
Yeah.
So
I've seen
that shot is me on my skates skating towards the van, zooming out from it zoomed in.
Yeah.
So it does that effect where like
It's just like it's coming in.
yeah, it's tunneling around.
Yeah, I've seen it. That was like really clean as well.
Dude,
like that.
I love doing content on skates of cars.
Yeah, because it's so smooth as well.
Dude,
it's like cinematic.
Seamless. It's seamless, you know. And like I can speed match up to about 30 k's per hour and still record. And just the like being able to skate really fast, turn around backwards and start recording, and like I'm so confident on skates, I don't need to look where I'm going. I'll be fine. And just focus on that shot means, and then like peel out and let the car come past me, dude. You can't do that if you're recording out of a car or a bike.
No, you can't.
You know. So it's I love being around those situations just to try and get some cool content.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking crazy. Do you have a drone?
Yeah, I have a drone.
Yeah, right. That's I borrowed my friend's for the first time the other day, and I realized like, you got to do that for a long time, hey?
Yeah, I crash it now and then still, because I just forget my surroundings and just go straight into a tree or something.
Are you in the FPV or are you?
Nah, just the DJI, Mini 3,
yeah,
and it's just like a big screen.
Oh,
yeah,
that's that one that my camera's sitting on over there.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. I'm not too sure.
Yeah,
is that a 3?
I'm not sure. That's my mate. He just lent it to me like after he ran it into a wall. He's like, "Don't break it anymore." I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Does it work?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fucking. So if he's, did you see this dude for the first time in Bunbury at a Bunbury servo?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just that one just down the road. Yeah.
That's nuts.
And then he's got like that's the thing, like he's got heaps of connections where it's just in Perth where he just like he's got his 5 little group of friend.
Dude, is this dude's name Mark?
Nah, not Mark.
I thought I knew everyone who owned a Ferrari in this town. Dude, do you know there's a guy with a Ferrari around the corner?
Yeah.
Is that him?
Nah.
There's that fucking, so you know.
Is it the red one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the red one, yeah.
That lives in Kerry Park.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
He owns a few mansions as well. And a couple
he lives in Kerry Park.
He lives in Kerry Park, yeah.
What a bad man.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, that's the thing, like there's actually a few. There's a guy who lives in just out of Kerry Park. He also owns a like a Lamborghini Urus as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you wouldn't think it.
And it's here in Bunbury.
Yeah, he's in Bunbury too.
Wow.
Yeah, there's like a few little hidden gems.
Yeah.
They just don't take their cars out.
Yeah, dude. My old man's got a couple like super nice cars, and I'm like, you know, maybe a Sunday morning drive.
Yeah.
Or he's like, no, just like knowing that I've got him. I'm like, hey, you're a fucking loser. You know, let me drive the Porsche.
Yeah. Fuck, you gotta like get it out there, you know.
Oh, dude. It's funny because like Dad and I have got this constant backwards and forwards argument where his Harleys are like, if we got any one of his vehicles right now, it's immaculate.
Yeah.
Immaculate, right? Yeah. If you got any one of my vehicles right now, there's dust on every part of it.
Yeah.
There's stone chips on the front of the Harley. Things are fucked. They've been dropped and picked up. But I use my shit all the time.
Yeah.
And when I use it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. If you use your stuff, because like vehicles and stuff can be like such a big like creator for yourself in your own business. Like you can use like your van and you're like naming your business because you've got black ink on it, you know.
Dude,
like,
everything's marketing.
Yeah, marketing. So that's right.
That stunt bike, that literally is like for the purposes of like I create content with Seb. I sponsor Seb as a stunt rider. That bike is a tax deduction because I use it while I'm out in the thing. I collect content on it. I do shit with it, you know. It's got black ink written on it.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's fully a black ink vehicle.
Yeah.
I got a 92 Capri as well.
Yeah.
Like the soft top with it's got like no roof. It's white with 2 blue racing stripes. If it was any more gay, it'd be cringe. But it's just right at the threshold of being like a classic 90s convertible.
Yeah.
I bought it for $2,000. It's no shit is the most fun vehicle ever.
It would be.
It's so cool because you're just like, jump. Like, this is the thing, right? As a 30-year-old with a ponytail, you can't get in a convertible 99% of the time. Yeah. It doesn't matter how cool it is, that I can get in it. It's not weird. Yeah. You're just like, all right, you win. Yeah. Have you got, what... Do you have the same vehicle I saw you in the other day? Because weren't you running the GU?
Yeah, I have the GU. That's soon to be done up. It's just had an engine reconditioned. Yeah. And then I also have a HSV Club Sport. Hard. Yeah. And then I have a Mazda 3 and an Outlander.
Oh, yeah, Mazda 3's bang.
They're good. They go
fun.
crazy. The Mazda 3 is great for work because it's just like, it's a whatever car. Like,
yeah.
Chuck people in, bang, off we go.
Yeah, it turns on
hella
and
far, and it's cheap on fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, best car I had was a fucking Suzuki Swift.
Yeah.
Because it was just like, it didn't... Dude, I literally wrote this thing off cosmetically, taped the bumper back on and drove home from Bustleton. You know what I mean? Like, this car was so reliable and just, it was like a small car you could fit 5 people in. It's like, it wasn't great, but you got there.
Yeah.
You know? Damn, dude. So what's your clubby? How have you got so many fucking regos?
Oh, it's just, I don't know, really. It's just that grind and that working and
Yeah.
like wanting to push to be successful.
Yeah.
Like it's just, that's why I've got like 4 regos I've got to pay. Oh, 5 because I've got the jet ski as well. I've got to pay on that.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I don't know why I've got so many cars.
Yeah.
It's
And then the
just-
thought of getting rid of one, you're like, nah.
Yeah, even the Mazda 3, nah, because the fuel is so much better on that.
Yeah.
And then the club is just like, it's a luxury Sunday, go down south type of vibe. And then you got
Yeah.
the four-wheel drive. Oh yeah, this is going to be like a little pony because it's like so nice and
Yeah.
it's going to go off into the bush and just get beaten up.
Yeah. True.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's funny vehicles have that kind of spell that they
Yeah.
put you in and hold you there.
yeah.
I must admit, I thought I was never going to sell the bike that I've got now. I was like, no, that's a bike I want to keep forever. And I want to get something I can do wheelies on, eh?
Yeah.
So bad.
But that's
So
like
good.
that's like the GE. Like I'm thinking of, I want to sell it and I want to buy a newer car. Like,
Yeah.
Because like it's 2010. It's hella reliable. It's good. But I was just like, I just want something better. But
Yeah.
it's like I love what it's doing anyway.
Yeah, but the problem is, like, you go right now, you're in the position, you're in the only outgoings is whatever you do to improve it and the regos.
Yeah.
As soon as you go, like, I want better, that's like, better is 10 grand, 20
Yeah,
grand, 30
it
grand.
is,
more,
100%,
You know?
yeah.
You have to spend that money. It's like, yeah, even if you get top dollar for your car,
Yeah.
you still got to replace
You
it.
still got to replace it.
Yeah. Yeah, I must admit, like, I've just gone through this, getting rid of the Ranger and getting into the van.
Yeah.
And somehow I have this uncanny ability to always win at, not win as in like I'm winning and the customer, the purchaser or seller is losing, but like I got that van really cheap.
Yeah.
I got $1,000 less than what I paid for the Ranger back on it. So you're like, that's a fucking win.
Yeah.
You know, I had it for 6 years. So it's like those situations you're like, oh yeah, they'll all be like that. But the truth is if you push it, man, especially if you're in a rush to buy and sell, it just costs you so much money.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But-
I understand that part.
Yeah, fucking oath. Fucking oath. How much money you reckon you spent on regos so far, in total?
In total, I wouldn't have a clue, eh? I just, what is it like? A year for the club is like $1,000.
Be similar for the four-wheel drive?
Full drive similar, and then the Mazda's probably like 780 or something like that.
So you think you're in the like 5 to 10 grand?
Yeah,
You spent on
easily,
regos so far.
easily. Yeah, just for reg, and then you got your insurance as well
Yeah,
that you're
man.
paying as well.
Yeah, and then you got to fuel them.
Yeah,
And someone gets in and pulls your handle off, and you got to replace that.
Yeah.
Cool, man. I love that. Thank you. You
Yeah.
know? I always wanted to replace that. Now you gave me the reason to do it. You know?
yeah.
Yeah. Fucking oath.
But yeah, it's just, I feel like one day I'll get where I want to get.
Yeah.
Because like we're building a house at the moment, just in
Oh,
Dalian
really?
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm wanting to start my own businesses in the, like my own business in my carport and stuff.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. Especially when you've
killer.
got your own space. That's so you still at mum and dad's now?
Still at mum and dad's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just like vibing there, just like trying to make like everything work while we got it there.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And then once we're out, I feel like that's where my move is going to go. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to go big when I get into my own space.
Yeah, I think, and like a lot of people, I got a mate who's just sold his house and moved back in with his mum, and I was telling him the other day, I'm fucking jealous.
Yeah.
Straight out, I'm jealous. You know what I mean? Because I don't know about you, I had to cut the lawns. Like, there's a smell coming into the shower. I'm the one who's got to fix that.
Yeah.
You know, the shit breaks under the. I got to fix the gas. You know,
Yeah.
when you're at your mum and dad's place, you're just like,
Yeah.
wait, that's broken. Then
Yeah.
you go out. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Oh, don't forget to pick that mum up.
Yeah, exactly. But I think also when you've got like the perks that come with that is like I wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh, I just dreamt about this idea. And like you come out here and like I can design it, print it, weed it, press it,
Yeah.
take a photo of it, put it on Instagram, and like I've got no one being like, oh, you're fucking.
Oh, you're waking us up.
Yeah, yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Like, you be quiet, turn the lights off. You know, like that's the best. That's why I'm like all your creative content and your mindset, you can just come straight here. It's like such a like killer vibe. You
Yeah,
just come
yeah.
out here, do what you got to do, go back to sleep.
It's pretty cool, like, because I like created the situation where it's like, oh, again, like with volume 2, I think this is part of my strategy is like, if you're an artist, if you're a designer, what does your studio look like?
Yeah.
You know, because it's easy just to put stuff places and you're like, yeah, that's where that belongs. But like, I move this around like every 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm the creator, right? This is my spot. And if I'm not comfortable, I'll fucking stop work for a day and make it comfortable
Yeah.
because I'm the artist.
Yeah.
You know? So it's cool to have that freedom.
Yeah.
And I think like when you get into your spot, you're going to be like, oh, I'm the fucking man now.
Yeah.
Let's paint these walls black.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to fuck that off. I need a Ferrari.
Yeah, but that's the plan, man. I'm like, when I get that big shed up in the back, because that's where I'm gonna start my business. Like my business is gonna do everything about cars.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it yet because like I don't want other people picking my ideas and that. But yeah, I've got like some good like creative stuff there.
Also, I think there's two ways of looking at the situation you're in. That idea, the longer you spend looking at it, thinking about it, assessing all the angles, the better you can strike it when it happens.
Yeah.
It's like that quote, if Albert Einstein had an hour to fix something, he'd spend 59 minutes looking at the situation and 1 minute doing something.
Yeah.
So you just keep thinking, keep looking, keep going, okay, if I do that, if I don't do this, if we take this approach. So I think it's good, but also, as soon as that fucking key gets handed to you, you got to start.
Yeah.
You got to run at it so hard.
Go into it, yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking, it's weird. It's weird. I even find now, like I'm obviously in the middle of everything happening, I'll have a great idea, and then you go, okay, do I bench that idea, even if it is great, until I have time to do something with it, or do I act on it right now while I'm emotional about it?
Yeah.
And it's hard because like I'm in the middle of 10 jobs right now. As we speak, I'm in the middle of 10 jobs. So if I have this new idea that's this big, and I start doing this, well, our podcast gets pushed back, these 10 jobs get pushed back, or my social skate, the this and that. So I think like I almost envy the position you're in because you're like, you've got time up your sleeve, you've got your fucking age on your side, you've got mentors on your side, like you're ready to fucking
just fucking killing it.
Make it happen. Wear more Palm Angels, you know what I mean? Fucking oath. Well, I think fuck man, you've blown my mind with this conversation.
I appreciate it.
It's been real good to have a chat with you. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
That's all good.
And if people want to find you, where do they find you?
Just find me
the camera.
Find me at IsANop, ISSA_NOP.
And I'm going to put that down in the description below if you want to find him. Basically, you guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, fuck your mother. We'll catch you later because we are fucking out.
You!